In the first of a new series of videos I'll be creating called Hobbies for Renaissance People, I wanted to talk about one hobby that was of particular interest to me. And as you can see behind me, I have some ancient coins. And I wanted to talk about one of them in particular today, just to illustrate the hobby of coin collecting, and specifically those of ancient origin or specific historical significance. I guess you could say I come from a long line of coin collectors. My father collected coins, and when he passed from the car accident that he was killed in that paralyzed my mother, he passed on those coins to me, and a lot of his coin collection came from my paternal grandfather, who fought in World War II, and he collected various coins from places that he was stationed at, or coins from places that his friends were collected at. So they used to swap and collect coins and trade for more variety. I had a couple of older pieces in my collection, but nothing that was ever graded. So this right here is a graded coin from the NGC, and they put the coin in a protective wrapper or a slab. It's plastic, and it offers the ability to protect the coin from dust and scratches and any environmental factors that might degrade the coin as time goes on. So this particular coin is a 1793 24 livre featuring King Louis XVI. And to make it easier for you all to see, I have some JPEGs I'll put on the screen. But as you can tell from this coin, created in the beginning of 1793, and you have to remember that King Louis XVI was killed on the 21st of January of 1793. So this coin came into circulation at or immediately thereafter of the death of the King of France during the French Revolution. This coin was actually minted in Paris, which adds to its value. There were a few different mints in France at the time. So one, as an investment, it does offer a high resale value. Secondly, coins of ancient origins are quite interesting because they offer a look back through time as to what coins used to be and how they've changed. For example, not all coins used to have pictures of a monarch or now a president on them. The original first coins ever minted usually just had little shapes on them, or eventually later on, back in the mid to 6th century BC, some of those coins had images of animals on them and some geometric shapes. Coins, and especially ancient coinage, is a great way of increasing your greater appreciation for history. And that's why I don't do things like collecting quarters or dollar bills. They don't offer any significant, to me personally. I can see how some people might enjoy that. But this coin was probably being held by one or more Frenchmen. This particular coin connects me to history in ways that a lot of objects don't. This was probably touched and handled and used for currency during the French Revolution in Paris. Like I said, right before or right after the king himself was executed on the guillotine. I mean, just the idea of holding something in your pocket or in your hands that has that much of history in it. You know, who was holding this coin? What were they using to purchase it with? What were their experiences between the Jacobins and the Montagnards? Where did they stand politically? Were they sorry to see their sovereign killed at the guillotine? Was the person or people holding this coin staunch revolutionaries? I'll never know, but the possibilities are endless. And like I said, very few things or objects hold as much history as something from the past, whether that's antique furniture or a coin. But coins are something that people touched. They was part of their normal lives. It wasn't just a nice decoration, they may have never even touched. So if you're looking for Renaissance hobbies, I highly recommend for the appreciation of history, and again, for the value of the coin itself, it's a great investment. So I mentioned this coin is slabbed and graded by NGC. NGC is the Numismatic Guarantee Company, and for several decades now, the NGC grades coins, and including with that is whether or not the coin is fake. So they give a guarantee that the coin isn't fake. They also grade it on various other aspects, including the face of the particular coin, whether or not it has any scratches or dents or other marks that could lower the value of your particular coin. And they also have a grading system. This coin is listed as an AU50. AU50 means that the coin was circulated, but at least 50% of its original luster is still intact, and signs of wear on the coin itself are also less than 50. So as you can see, the coin is pretty good quality. While you don't have to buy coins that are graded by organizations such as the NGC, it's highly recommended because of both the guarantee and then also the fact that they protect the coin. So it would be very, very difficult for me to break this open and try to resell it. It wouldn't be worth as much. Coins that have been graded by organizations like the NGC are usually more expensive than if you were to just buy coins on like eBay that have been sitting in someone's attic. Not to mention the fact that in those cases you can't really guarantee whether or not the coin is authentic. And if you're not buying an authentic coin, there's very little reason to purchase it in the first place, unless it's a coin of such magnitude that you can't get the originals, or you can't get the originals for the price point that you're able to afford. A couple of things about this coin in particular. Like I said, it was minted in Paris and is gold, and on the front you can see it says 1793, Louis XVI in Latin letters, Roy de Francois. So it's saying the King of France. The back is, I think, just as interesting. It's an angel signing the Constitution of the original French Republic. And on the back it says Regne de la Loi, which means rule of law. And it also has the date of 12 January listed, representing liberty. There is a revolutionary cap next to the angel to his left, and a rooster, a symbol of France, to the right. And you can even make out the words Constitution as the angel is signing it. Superb coin. While reading history and doing research on coins like this, like I said, can really put you in situ into the situation of where the coin was used. And it's really one of the only ways to get that up close and personal history, other than visiting an open-air museum, such as something like Williamsburg or Plymouth Plantation here in America. It'd be even more interesting, and if you're a producer of any of the reality shows, such as Colonial House, I'm definitely interested. It's hard for us to understand ourselves, let alone trying to understand the point of view of somebody else, let alone a person who may have lived, a few hundred years ago in a different country for a language you don't speak. I have taken French up until college, but I wouldn't say I'm fluent by any stretch of the imagination. And I think everyone should go and take at least one foreign language and be proficient at it, because the world's getting smaller. And as a Renaissance person and a person of the world and a global citizen, I think it's our obligation and rights to try to understand people. And one of the ways you can an easier way to do that is by learning a foreign language and actually speaking to people in that language. But there are certainly other hobbies out there that would be of interest to a person who wants to become a Renaissance person. This is just one. If you are interested in learning more about ancient coins, let me know. I can talk about some of my other ones. I have some coins that are graded and date back to the 7th century BC. So some of the first coins ever in existence. You can buy what you want, you can save. It's a hobby. And since you don't really touch coins like this, because of the slabs, the protective sleeves, as you were, it's not something that you can actually touch. So I won't be able to touch something that someone from the 18th century Parisians would have, but this is the next best thing with the protection and the guarantee. I hope you found this video interesting, and if you do, please subscribe and like, and watch more for videos like this. Take care, and thank you very much for watching.